Doobie doobie doo. That's funny. Well, that's funny. Weird. I'll take the camera. Working on the Delorean time machine. Trying to get this cord. I wonder if that air conditioner is going to make noise. Actually, let me move this table. Actually, might be better if I put that closer, because I'm going to get in the car. I got to work on my time circuits. Time circuits are giving me a problem. I need to clean up my space. That's what I really need to do. Let's see here. What am I looking at? Are these? I seriously need to clean up some space here. And I need something to catch my nuts in, my screws. And I know I bought some of those recently. could have sworn I recently bought some little magnetic bowls, cups and things for keeping screws and whatnot into, and I'm not seeing them. My radio's on the fritz here, my Sirius radio. It's not wanting to start. Having all sorts of problems over here. God damn it. It seemed to me that there it is. One of these switches. For some reason, my time circuits were acting goofy. And speedometer hasn't been working. This knob should change the speedometer, and my digital speedometer is not been working. I need to take this box apart. Let's see if this will hold. Barely. I was thinking about just changing out this whole time drive switch. I have another one over there, new in the box, or not new in the box, but you know, brand new built. This is giving me a cramp in my shoulder. Ow. Ow. Fuck. The thing that sucks about working in these cars, it's like you're doing yoga inside this box of razor blades. It helps to be, like if you were a skinny little yoga instructor, this would be a great job for you. Like if you were like 5 feet tall and very flexible, I got a job for you. Which is why it's so hard for Omar who works up for me, you know, he's not short, but he is fat. And that makes it difficult for Omar. Because it's way easier to do this when you're small. And I haven't taken this car apart in a few years. And I need to change out the battery in it. Not the car battery, but the battery that runs the electronics. The battery that runs the electronics is a different battery. Alright, let's see what we got going here. Like this light's a little twitchy. That's not cool. That's interesting. Let me have a look in here. Alright. Sometimes, you know, wires just get loose. Oh yeah. There it is. And is that a flathead for fuck's sake? I hate getting in and out of this car. I should have just brought all the screwdrivers with me. That would good. I'm going to see if I can put the camera closer so you can get an idea of what I'm doing there. Here, I'll move this down actually. Not sure if that's a good idea. Maybe like this.
Ah, careful. Hold on. You know, that way we can get intimate with each other.
I have a corporate gig with the car coming up. It's a magnetic light, and there's nothing in here made of magnetic metal. Now, oops, do this. See if I can turn it down a little. Oh yeah, it's a little better. So yeah, what's happened here is a little wire that goes into this terminal block here has just fell out. Just for no reason, for vibration reasons. I wish I could see better. Now this is not a, this is just a connection. What's the word I'm looking for? Ooh, what is it sticking to? That's magnetic. Oh, that's magnetic. Okay, cool. Yeah, this just sets off the demo display mode. So this is just a contact button. This is nothing special. There's no voltage or anything. This just closes a contact. And you know, sometimes these wires, like they just, or these screws just back themselves out from vibration and whatnot. I mean, it's just like these cars are, they vibrate. But vibration's a good thing. You know why? Lets you know it's running. I wish I could see better. I need to get, I'm gonna have, you know, I'm gonna turn 50 years old this month. And for the first time, I'm starting to have like blurry vision up close. I need to have readers. You notice most older people, when when they read the menus, they're like, all my friends, they all carry glasses in their pockets. And when they go to read the menu, my wife is doing it now. My wife, she's 49. And this is one of the realities. It's just like, this is what it is to get old. And I'm like, fuck me, I gotta wear some glasses. I can't hardly see to get this in the hole without a very bright light, you know. Like when I go to a restaurant, I'm the guy sitting there with his phone with the light on, looking at the menu. And you guys make fun of us, you younger people make fun of us. And I used to make fun of me too. But the thing is like, it's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to you. I used to have 20/20 vision, bro. My vision was perfect. I could see everything. And just fine. And the thing is, I'm tightening this up and I may end up having to replace this entire board. Which would suck. But I might do it. I'm just kind of going through tightening each one of these just to make sure they're tight. Because, you know, some of them are loose. This power one is loose. Every one of them is loose. Wow. So what is this? Okay, so this knob, I want to get this pressure off of this thing. I want that pressure. We really need, these wires need to be longer. Okay, what's up with that? Why aren't my time circuits on? This happened earlier. Says I've got 13.4 volts. Seriously? See, I got a bad connection on this ground. Look at that. Interesting. That's the gauge. Man, every one of these is loose. Every one of them. Every one of these is loose. And unfortunately, I can't test my speedometer unless I actually take it for a drive, because the speedometer is actually GPS driven. We're not getting this data from the car, but this knob right here should change that factor, and it's not. It's not working. Let's see if it. No. That's not working either. Flux is fluxing. Sometimes these boards just go bad. And I have had a lot of trouble with these speedometers. Speed in. It's connected. I should be able to turn this knob and change the value on the speedometer there. And there's also a demo mode. When you press this red button, this should ramp up to 88, and then it should go through the full time sequence. And it's not doing it. And I don't know if I should change out this drive switch, but there's special things that we've done in here that I don't want to change. This switch here, I've wired up to the speaker in my flux capacitor so that I can turn off that annoying buzzing sound while I'm driving out the road. This is the demo mode, plutonium gauge. And I just noticed my plutonium gauge is showing 0, and it should be up. I could easily just take this out and change it. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, this is the power to the bulkhead. I've disconnected it. Roof bulkhead. Interesting. That's because we had a plutonium chamber sound effects package on here that we've disconnected, so I've disconnected the power to that. That's why. That's the outer lights. On this car though, I've done something very special, and I've put the battery to this behind the bulkhead, which is not something I do on customer cars. On customer cars, I put it in the trunk so it's easy to get to, or sometimes behind the passenger seat there. On this car, we put a big giant truck battery back there, if I remember correctly, and which means I got to take the bulkhead out to get to it. I can actually access just those two panels there. If I can make it through this show without a problem, I may just leave it plugged in and leave it turned on. As long as it's plugged in and if it works okay, that's fine. But I do need to address the speedometer situation. I hate to change out this whole drive switch. Fuck. There's a couple of ways I can do it. I can just change this board. Or I can change the entire switch. Eric Singer. What's he want? Holy shit, why is my air compressor on? It's kind of strange because that's not supposed to be on. Well, it's on, but it shouldn't be under pressure. I thought that I brought, I know I'm not on camera, I thought that I brought another set of time circuits with me, but I guess I didn't. I gotta go take a piss. I'll be right back. Ooh, boy, you know it's hot and dry when you go and check the toilet. The toilet is, the water is evaporated out of the toilet. That's, you know, it's dry when. Looks like I'm I've only got one lemonade left in here too. Alright, so I got another time drive switch here, which I brought back with me from my shop in Dallas. And, because I knew I was probably going to have to do this. And this one's better. This is one of our older ones. And like, it's got a real bulb in it though, which doesn't necessarily make it better, but which one is this? It's not hot. This thing here is one of the newer models, and I think it's completely different. I think it's a completely different model. And it may not be interchangeable. See, I get my electronics made in Europe by a guy that I work with, who's been working with me for a long time. And the thing is back in the old days, I used to just hand make these boxes from scratch and wire them from scratch. But I was pretty limited as to what I could do, you know. And so then I hired this guy to make these electronics. Some of the stuff we started to do is that since you can't get the original parts, a lot of the original stuff anymore, we started 3D printing shit and casting parts, you know, which is what we got to do now. But like these bulbs and things, those are genuine, those are real. And the ones in this one are 3D printed. You know, it had like that red button is one of the real ones. This one's a 3D print. Now, if I didn't tell you that, you probably wouldn't know the difference. But it's just virtually impossible for us to build the cars that we built 10 years ago. The parts just don't exist. You know, I didn't know I was going to build 50 cars. You know, when I got to 10 cars, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this is a completely different board. Completely different. This is the new style board, and it's not the same. It's not the same at all. I mean, it's doable. It's doable. But, see, this is why it's done completely differently. I mean, I'd have to change out a couple of these toggle switches. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but that's what I don't like. The fucking bulbs just come right out and shit. It's not cool. I mean, what I could do is I could take these and put them in there, but I'm trying to decide if I really want to do this. I guess if I want the speedometer to work, unless I can fix it. What I have to do is I have to send the boards back to them and have them redo them, whatever's wrong with them. I mean, what he's done is really genius here, I have to say. But sometimes making things new isn't always making it better. You know what I'm saying? So, I gotta decide if I'm gonna take this out or just leave it. I don't really need the digital speedometer. I have the car's speedometer in here. I just need to double check all these connections. The fact that this is not connecting, it's still showing, it's showing 5 miles an hour, it should show 0. Oof. Okay. I may have to go buy some damn reading glasses. Because this is really hard for me to look at. I mean, it's hard for me to focus on these little tiny letters and things. And this is a new thing for me. I mean, it wasn't getting old sucks. I didn't used to have this problem, and now I do. The other problem I'm having is, why is it that my time circuits aren't really coming on? Am I other plutonium gauge needle isn't coming up either. And also, it's not letting me go through time. You know, I can't go through time if I can't get the speedometer anymore. What I mean by that is, the way the system works is when this thing gets 88 miles an hour, that lets the program know that you've gone, you know, to 88 miles an hour and you go through time. And what happens is a sequence of events. Your flux capacitor goes full on bright. Your spectrum analyzer back there goes full on bright. Your dates will change from the destination time to the present time. All of your needles will go to zero because you've depleted your plutonium or your Mr. Fusion or whatever. And of course the speedometer will show the correct time. Then at that point, you would reset the system with this little switch here. That resets everything. And so that's how you do it. So so in order for me to change this, I have to remove this physical box. I have to physically remove some of these switches out of here, because they have to be transferred to the other box. So the crazy thing is we have one main power, 12 volt power coming in. Not a lot of power, but there's a 12 volt power that comes in that powers the thing. And then that power is distributed via this board to the plutonium gauges, the time drive circuits, the flux capacitor, the spectrum analyzer. These toggle switches route separate power to like the band, the plutonium chamber back there, the sound effects. This sound effect thing doesn't happen on my regular cars. This is only my car. On the cars that we sell and the flux capacitors we sell, they make that noise all the time. So what I did was I ran the wire as a bypass. Because when I spend a lot of time in this thing, I don't want to hear that fucking buzzing sound. So I put that little switch there. So when I get out of the car and I put it on display. By the way, I've hit my head on these sharp ass buttons so many times. I mean, I know I have scars up here for sure. But you got to be very careful around this upper console. It's like a box of razor blades, this car. Thank goodness I'm sitting in here with an air conditioner right there blowing right on me. There's no way I could do this. And I'm still building the cars in Dallas, Texas with my crew building the cars there. And we've talked about the concept of building the cars here in this room instead. Much smaller space, much more cramped quarters, but it's free. You know, I own the building there in Dallas, and but owning a building costs money. I'd say I probably spend, all right, not counting electricity. You know, like, because I pay $600-700 a month in electricity, another couple of $200 in internet, water. So I spend about $1,000 a month in utilities, and I spend about $500-600 a month in just taxes. It's like $6,000 something a year tax for the building. So it cost me $1,500, let's say, a month to own the building and have the power and the internet and the cameras and water on. Not including payroll. Payroll, I'm usually spending anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month, depending on who's working or more. I don't know, let me think. Let's see, I spend an average payroll. Depends on it changes because there's always different people, but like, or if I did it like this. Yeah, so I'm spending about, let's say, $4,000 a month. So it changes. I'm spending a minimum of $5,000 a month on that on the building and a couple of guys there. So it's like $65,000 a year, which is, you know. So I'm spending out of pocket a minimum of, I'd say I spend about 150 to 200,000 a year average on this house and that building. And if I stopped building the cars in Texas and only built them here and then moved, either hired new guys, some of the crew is willing to move here and live here permanently and work permanently. That would eliminate a cost per year. That would eliminate about 20 grand a year in out-of-pocket costs just to own that building. And not only that, but if I was renting that building, I could probably rent that building for maybe $6,000 or $8,000, maybe $10,000 a month. If I got like $8,000 a month for the whole building, then I'm making almost $100,000 a year renting the building. Or I could sell the building for probably 800 grand. So these are the things, the decisions you have to make as a business owner. And when I'm on the Video Bob show, when I'm doing my talk show and I'm talking politics, these are the things that matter if you're a business owner. This is why these things are so important. So, when people are fighting over, abortion and mean tweets and he said that and blah, 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 what the average person who works for a living for someone else doesn't understand is that the major big policies that business owners have to deal with, interest rates, loan rates, the cost of materials, the cost of goods, the cost of fuel, the cost of electricity, and all these different things. These are things that are outside of the scope of the average person who works for a company, who gets a, and they have no idea that this is what's going on behind the scenes. But when a business isn't making money, like they're always like, oh, these greedy business owners, why don't they pay more? Well, that's very true. There are some greedy businesses that should be paying more, but here's the deal. They're definitely not going to pay more if they're losing money or not making as much money. There's a big difference between not being able to afford to pay and then also not having the money to pay. You understand? So these are the things that I'm facing as a business owner and running employees and things. So I'm like, man, the smarter thing to do would be to close the shop in Dallas and either rent that building or sell the building. I think actually renting the building, like if I rented the building and I was making 80 to 100,000 a month, a year renting the building, after 10 years I've made $1 million. Then sell the building, and then by the time that happens, then the building's worth $1.5, $2 million. Who knows? That's the smart move. And that's, really what I need to start working towards. Building the cars here, just doing the stuff here, It's pretty dumb to keep doing it the way I'm doing it. So. Anywho, this damn thing, I don't really want to change out this box right now because I just needed to do this. It's just going to be on display for a corporate gig where it's just going to sit here like this with the lights on. This is all I needed to do. Honestly, I just want to know why this light's being twitchy. It's just loose. Every gosh darn thing in this car is just loose. I just need to go through the whole car and tighten. Oh wow, this bulb is like falling out of there. Just need to go through the whole car and just tighten everything down. Because after a couple of years of driving this thing around and doing stuff with it, just the straight up vibration of just operating it, things get loose. Look at this, I fixed it. They didn't fix this chronometer, but just leave all the stuff on while it's plugged in. See how it does. I'm not going to put this back together. I'm going to leave these screws out for right now. And I'm going to kind of test burn it in. See how I do. So I'm going to leave it like this overnight. I'm probably going to change out these time circuits and this stereo. I don't have a radio in the car. What I usually do is I just take a little Bluetooth speaker with me, play it from my phone if I'm going to be driving it around. But I modified these time circuits so that this folds up, and that's completely unique. No other car does that. Maybe you can see that on camera. Yeah, the keypad there, that doesn't do that normally. But I did that so that I could reach up under there and get to my air conditioning ducts and things. And I don't think any other car does that. There's things on this car that only this car does. So, there's a couple other things I need to do on the car. I'm just going to leave these tools here. I need to put a license plate on the car, a prop plate. And these screws go to the visors. I took the visors off because I had Christopher Lloyd sign the visors for me. He was in town. And I had him autograph some parts for me. But I'm not going to put those visors back in the car. I'm going to replace them with some other visors. Because those other visors I sell to clients as upgrades. It's just like when you go out to eat. You're going to get charged extra for sour cream or extra cheese or whatever. So I sell the car and I go, hey, for a little bit more money, I can have, a visor in your signed by Christopher Lloyd. I can have, you can get the remote control, the hoverboard, all these different things. There's small amounts of money, but they all add up. It's all part of business. I'm sure you understand. All right, let me check back of the car. Oh, that. Oh, perfect.
All right. Is anybody watching? Let's see. I saw some comments. I agree with you on that, Bob. Rent or lease. I'm gonna get Super 420 and tattoo. Dumb question. Used to be electrical tech. Can't you ohm out the panel? Probably could. Let's see. I was 11, be infantry, miser, everything. I can see the phone because it's like bright light seems to help. But I gotta tell you, getting old fucking sucks. All right, so I need to install this on the car. You can see. And I think how I'm going to do this is with some double-sided tape, which I believe I have over here in the drawer. I've got a bunch of different double-sided tapes. I just don't know if I have the one that I need here. This is a double-sided tape that's very, very thin, and this might work. It's a very thin tape, but Spider! A little tiny spider. And my scissors. Yeah, man, it sucks. I'm gonna have to get well, I don't need like glasses like that I gotta wear all the time. but I need to get just readers, you know, cheaters as they call them. Ooh, this is sticky stuff, nasty. Ah. This is not the kind of sticky tape that I would normally want to use, because this stuff is super thin, like super thin, but I'm going to try it out. Hopefully I won't lose the plate. They don't cost me that much. But I need it to be kind of thin on this surface anyway. This is more like, I don't know what you'd call this thing. It's sticky shit though, that's for sure. Ah. Ah. It is tacky. See how that flux capacitor just buzzes away? Like, God damn it. I mean, it just blends into the background after a while, but when you're sitting in the car, it's worse. You know, you're just like, ah. As I've gotten older, I just hate noise. I understand why people are like, just shut up. I don't want to hear any noise. Don't make any noise. Be quiet. I have much more appreciation for quiet. I can remember my grandfather just sitting, you know, in his chair, chewing a toothpick, and all you could hear is the tick-tock of the grandfather clock. And I'm thinking, man, don't you want to hear the radio or watch TV? Nope. I just want to sit here and not hear a fucking thing but that clock. And my old lady has that goddamn phone on all the time, playing a podcast or watching something. She's on this fucking thing 24/7. Just like, turn it the fuck off, please. Want some peace and quiet. We got in a fight the other night, kind of, not a fight, but basically, you know, I came into the bedroom, was ready to go to sleep, and I got in bed, and she's laying in bed, like playing this podcast on her phone. Probably some asshole like me. So imagine you come into bed, your wife's laying there watching me on a podcast, and you're ready to go to bed. And I said, look, woman, the bedroom is where the bed is, and that's for sleeping. Go up into the living room where the 80-inch TV is and watch that. Go into your office that I made you. You have your own studio for exercising. Go do that. But the bedroom's for bed. Sleeping. Sleeping and fucking. If we're not fucking, we're sleeping. That's this room. Am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I told her, you know, if bedroom is for sleeping and fucking, that's it. Yeah, she'll fall asleep with the phone on, playing the thing. That's right. Let me take a look at the back of this car here. I gotta check, you know, like all my little connections.
Looks good. It's primitive, but it works. Dry. That needs water. Looks like I might have too much oil in it. I could be wrong, but oil's still slightly brown, not black. Get this light. It's tough when there's nothing magnetic in the car. Everything is aluminum. Stainless. Yeah, it's over the full mark, so there's actually too much oil in the car. Probably added some or an additive, but it'll be okay. It's not gonna hurt it. It's like just a little lower. Let me see what I got for water. Put liquid death in it. About that, had to go get some water. I bought a deionized car wash, water filtration system, and it makes purified water. And basically what it is it's just like one of the giant zero water filters you would put in your home. I think it was like $500. It uses that resin material. And it makes pure water, and so when you rinse off your car, it doesn't leave any little spots, you know. And so it's very, very handy because the Las Vegas water is terrible. It's just terrible. But furthermore, I have well water, and the water that is hooked up to the hoses just comes straight out of the earth, so it's full of crud, you know. And it's just not good. Alright, this looks fine. There's no latch. There's no latch or anything. This just sits here under its own weight, under gravity. And I guess if you went over a big enough bump, it would do that, but it's never been a problem. The suspension's good enough. I mean, if you went over a bad enough bump to do that, you're,
causing a problem, but it's just gravity holds it on. And we've done 50 cars, it's never been a problem. I got to give an endorsement to these Braun lights at Harbor Freight. These are actually, I think the Braun one is better than the what's it called? What's the premium brand? Icon. These things are $20. They're rechargeable with USB-C. This head moves in all directions. You can dim it. You can point out the end. And it's fantastic. Now, I also have the Icon version. But I think the Braun version is better. Now, this might have a brighter light and a better capacity. But here's the deal about it, right? The button's on the side. It's harder to get to. You can't feel it. It has different brightness levels. It has a thing on the back, and then it has the one on the end. So it has more functionality. But it doesn't make it easier to use, and it only bends in one direction. This thing doesn't go the other way. I mean, it seems like it's more quality built, but it costs twice as much, if not more. And you can sometimes get these ones for like $20. And what I recommend is, like, if you're running a shop like this, just fucking buy 5 of them. Because, you know, while one's charging, you're using another one, and it seems to run for hours. But, you know, normally it's too bright, so I dim it. And then you can move it in all different directions. The magnet is, you know, and like it run for like an hour or so. And just go buy fucking 5 of them. You know, they're very, very handy. Very handy. And then, you know, you lose them, they break, whatever. They're like $20. Who gives a shit? They're $20. What else? I realized that I never finished this Night Rider project. You know, we're working on a Night Rider project in Dallas. And way over here is a Night Rider dash that I've been working on forever. And like, I've been working on it for like a year, and I just set it up here and forgot about it because I've been doing other shit. I need to get this thing finished and in the car, and I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do it today. But it's all put together. I just got to get this wired up. It's a hell of a mess, and it's just one of those things that makes your brain hurt. You know, I got to get this pod put together. Need a little tweaking. These little buttons got to fit in there from the back. And they've got to be hooked up. The lower console is pretty well done. It's sitting in the car. I hate to say it, I've kind of lost interest in Night Rider, you know? And I don't know, I just don't care. Here, let me work these legs out here so this thing's taller. I had it low so I could get into the Delorean, but this is probably all I'm going to do today. I didn't want to do a bunch of work today. Sorry. Like I said, I'm doing a corporate gig with the car. I make, you know what's interesting is I charge the same amount now that I did like just years and years ago. It's like $1,500 a day. And it's been $1,500 a day for like 20 years, strangely enough. Because as inflation has changed, the market has self-adjusted in that there's probably 200 time machines now on the planet Earth. And because I've built 50, a couple of, you know, and all the other ones that are out there that have been built. So there's just more competition. And that's just how it is. And I've you know, if I'm being arrogant when I say this, if somebody else watches this, they might disagree. But I sort of invented this industry, the renting of the time machine. There are people who had built time machines and sold them and rented them before me, but not as a full-time job. Does that make sense? So So even though people have built cars and sold them before I did, and they might have rented their cars before I did, I put together a website and made it a full-time gig in 2004, 20 years ago. And I put dozens and dozens of people in business doing this, selling them the cars. They've made their entire livings off of just renting this car and driving it around. You know, I wish I had been more of a gatekeeper. I don't know what that meant back then, but I wish I had been more of a gatekeeper of my knowledge and the parts and these cars. All right, guys, that's enough for today. I thought about just leaving this. I wonder how long I can leave this on. Just leave it on and point it at the flux capacitor and see how long people stare at it. That was interesting. It kind of dipped for a second. Yeah, I mean, I first started. How this started was 2004. I built my first time machine. It wasn't even completed. I had it at a car show, and I met Roger Staubach, the Dallas Cowboy, who runs Staubach Realties. He's a realtor, and he said, "Man, your car's great. Would you bring it to I'm having a thing called Staubach to the Future. This is perfect. I'll pay you like $300-400. What do you think?" I was like, "Yeah." So I did it, and while I was there, I met this lady. She goes, I represent, or I'm a party planner, and I'd like to pitch this to Walmart." I'm like, "Holy shit." And they said, "Hey, would you bring your car to Bentonville, Arkansas for a video shoot?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I got a trailer, borrowed my friend's trailer, drove the thing up there to Bentonville, Arkansas from Dallas, Texas. I think they paid me a couple grand. And then I was off to the races. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get serious about this. So then I started making the car better. And then I just started getting gigs like crazy after that. I hear this thing acting goofy. Like this should be lit up and it's not. Sorry. I gotta check some voltages here. Shows 13.9. I just realized this now. Fuck me. Check my whole voltage regulator box. Oh yeah, that was lit. That's interesting. So that had just come out of there. How did that come unplugged like that? Weird. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even realize this. Wow. How ghetto. I'm gonna go check the voltage coming out of this main battery. I have two batteries, you know, and the car battery and then the prop, as I've mentioned. I want to see what I'm getting out of this. .3. All right. It's not terrible. Sorry about that. I'm sorry if you can't see me. I'm just going to leave it on as a test overnight. Come back tomorrow and see what it's doing. And that's what we're going to do. So, thanks for hanging out. That was the video for today. I know I haven't been doing the lives lately. But the lives in the shop anyway. That's because I haven't been out here working. I haven't. So, anyway, catch you guys later. Is renting the car coming into in? No. It'll be on display this year at SEMA here in Las Vegas, the Delorean time machine. You'll see it on display. I still do it once in a while. It's just not as much as I used to be. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right, catch you later. Bye.